Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino coming at you again today with yet another video and yet another video on a compilation. This time a Beach Boys one. I did a John Lennon one on Saturday, and I said the Beach Boys had a similar one, and we were going to talk about that on Wednesday today. So here we go. Anyway, stay tuned for more on that after the intro. Yes, we are here today to talk about a Beach Boys compilation, and one you might not be aware of, and it is an official compilation. It was EMI released. So which one are we going to talk about? Well, we got the best of the Beach Boys. I got that one here. Well, it's not going to be that one, no. How about Endless Summer? That one's a really popular one, and on CD, I don't know. I think the vinyl would be a little more popular, but I got it on CD here. But no, it's not that one. This could be a budget market one, a specialties market, and this one's a kind of a cool one, a really unique one. Do It Again. I had the cassette when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved it. When Giggins told me there was a CD version, I had to get it. So there's my CD version of Do It Again. But no, we're not talking about that one. How about Beach Boys Made in the USA? That was a pretty popular compilation, but I think we've all heard of that one. So yeah, it's not going to be that one. Like I said, it's one we really haven't heard of. Ooh, again, this one I know we've all heard of, but 20 Good Vibrations, the best of the Beach Boys. Yeah, it's not going to be this one either. Sorry. Maybe it's this one. This one's kind of an odd specialty markets one. This Essential Beach Boys Perfect Harmony limited edition 1998. Well, no, we're not talking about that one either. Sure, not a lot of people have heard of that one either, but that's not the one we're talking about. We got the Endless Harmony soundtrack one here. That pretty decent compilation, but also one that probably a lot of people are aware of. So yeah, it's not that one that I'm referencing here. Hey, the Beach Boys Ultimate Christmas, kind of a Christmas compilation. But yeah, it's really not that one either. Oh, we're back to this one again, the 20 Good Vibration, but the Hits Volume 1, now that they put the Volume 1 on it. Interesting little story on that. They reissued it not long down the road, but and made it a Volume 1, so maybe there's a Volume 2 coming up, but that's not what we're talking about. So speaking of the Volume 2, yeah, there that is. Yeah, we're also not talking about that one. Oh, and there even was a Volume 3, but this one is the best of the brother years, 1970 to 1986. Yeah, it's also not going to be that one that we're talking about. I guess we'd probably talk about that together with the other two, though. So it's definitely not that. Also not this Hawthorne, California, the birthplace of a musical legacy, with that wonderful Pontiac on the cover there. I love that Pontiac on the cover. Oh, that's so cool. But yeah, it's not that one there. I think with my John Lennon one, I mentioned the Weird Hear Music Starbucks compilation, and the Beach Boys had one of those too. The Songs We Love to Love, Summer Crush, the Beach Boys. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that one. That is kind of an odd one, though. I think this was a UK or European kind of exclusive one, the very best of the Beach Boys. We're also not talking about that one. Interesting one, but we're not talking about that. Boy, the Beach Boys got a lot of compilations. Also not talking about the Beach Boys classics selected by Brian Wilson. Yeah, we're also not talking about that one. That's the next one up there, but not what we're talking about. Beach Boys, the very best Sounds of Summer. Of course, this one's a pretty popular one too. Kind of like that 20 Good Vibrations. This one kind of was the next phase on that. But yeah, we're not talking about that one. And like the 20 Good Vibrations, this one's been reissued several times too and kind of repackaged. Speaking of it, here's the next repackage on it with the DVD. That one featured the DVD too. So that was, yeah, but we're still not talking about that one. Another UK one, I think, kind of exclusive, the Beach Boys, and I think this is their version of the Sounds of Summer, but the Platinum Collection, Sounds of Summer edition. Yeah, we're also not talking about that. I love that clear, fatty jewel case on it. I don't see too many of those. But yeah, we're not talking about that one. Oh, another Christmas one, the Christmas with the Beach Boys. This one's actually an inferior one to that first one I showed you because they cut off a few tracks. But yeah, we're not talking about that. Beach Boys, The Warmth of the Sun. Yeah, still not this one. Still not this one. Man, there are a lot of Beach Boys compilations. Or the Summer Love Songs, Beach Boys Summer Love Songs. Yeah, still not that one. Boy, I went crazy getting all these. How about the 50 big ones? Greatest hits here, a little box here. Well, it is kind of a little box, but it's not this one. And I think down to our last one again, we got the Sounds of Summer. This is the the 2022 edition. Yeah, that added on several other discs and This is the big deluxe one. Remixed some tracks and remastered some, and didn't do anything with some, but yeah, an interesting little one. But yeah, that is the Sounds of Summer there. But yeah, that's still not the one we're going to talk about. I think I finally got through all of them there for the ones we're not going to talk about, which I guess we kind of in a way talked about them, didn't we? I guess we did. But we're going to talk about this one here, the Beach Boys, the Collector's Edition. And I don't think there's much more said there. It's a little tin set. And like I said, it is released by EMI. You can see that there on the back. I just talked about the John Lennon one. If you didn't see that video, there's what the John Lennon one looks like. Also kind of a tin set like this. Also EMI Specialty Markets. Also 3-disc. And also 30 tracks, just like this one is. 10 tracks per disc. Several of these, I think that Sounds of Summer were almost 30 tracks on just one disc. So the fact that they crammed 3 discs into this box and only put 10 songs on each disc, which they weren't really cramming there. They were cramming the box with something, but they weren't cramming the disc with anything. But yeah, I kind of love this little cover and the little embossed on it. And they didn't put a hype sticker right on the cover like they did with John's. I kind of hate that they messed up his face on that there, because I love that image on the front there with the different colors with the same image, I suppose. But again, there's the back, kind of the top sides here. Let's open it up though. This one, I think the box is a little broken on this one because I don't think it's supposed to open on that side too. But inside we got a little booklet, pamphlet, and then the disc laying in there. The John Lennon one was really interesting with the disc, but we'll talk about the pamphlet first here. So here that is, and there's the back on it. Interesting picture of the fellas there, and mine's a little torn, so I got to be careful here. I think this is how it came to me. I did get this one used, my John Lennon one. I was able to find a brand new copy, and I think this one you can find a pretty new copy of too. And I would say $15-20 should get you a decent copy on this. You could probably even find one for less than that. Pop out the disc here, which is really interesting because it is essentially just a digipack. The John Lennon one is a digipack, but it's like cardboard, where this is a true digipack here. And we'll kind of show you everything here again, pretty much what you saw on the box, but the 3 CD collector edition. Disc 1 here in blue. I always like to, if you can see below the tray, I always like to kind of show what's below the tray. Nothing there. Disc 2 in red, disc 3 in yellow, and I will pop out each disc here. There's nothing below any of these, so nothing too crazy or fancy. I kind of like the colors on each. I just wish they would have put at least maybe 20 songs per, and got, you know, geez, 60 songs would have been a nice little box set. So this is kind of weird because it doesn't sit right in there. You got to go this way to get the disc in there, and then the booklet sits right, but just kind of the shape of it. And that's also kind of part of why I don't keep it on the shelf here. I think it would fit, but yeah, I've been keeping it. Cornholio and Jimi Hendrix have been standing on top of it behind me there with the incense and the lava lamp and all that fun stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This version of it came out in 2007. The Lennon one came out in 2008. Not much more to say on it. It was Madacy Entainment released these. And with this too, you know, I'm kind of a Beatles guy, Beach Boys, Hendrix, several other bands I'm into, but and there were several other these like tin sets available from other artists, but just none in my direct wheelhouse. I think there might be a Creedence one that I might look into, but that would be way down the road if I get it. I think there was a Johnny Cash one too, but I'm not the biggest like Johnny Cash collector, so you know kind of how it goes on that, but is kind of some on there. So yeah, just look it up on Discogs. I think if you look up that Madacy Media or Entertainment or whatever, it lists several of these tin sets, so kind of see if there's one that you're interested in, or if you're just interested in the Beach Boys or the John Lennon one here. Anyways, I'm going to get wrapping up because like I said, there isn't much to say on these. I've just always kind of wanted to show them. So there's my little collection there. We'll go 07, 08 there, kind of on that. And the Lennon one is a little skinnier actually. now that I look at that. Yeah. So, and maybe not quite as tall too. Now that I'm kind of comparing them side by side there, Cornholio and Jimmy have been standing on top of the Beach Boys one for quite a while, so I haven't pulled it out for quite a while there. But anyways, I've been wanting to show that for a long while, and I thought since I got the London one, might as well show this one now that it's been sitting in the background of several of my videos, almost all of them, as a matter of fact. Now you'll actually see what's going on there. Kind of debating if I might want to put the John Lennon one up for a while there. Retire the Beach Boys one for a bit, and we'll put John up there for a while, maybe. Have Jimmy and Cornholio stand on top of him for now. But anyways, I am going to get fully wrapping up. Before I do that, once again, though, I want to thank all my subscribers and thanks to any new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like if you like it. Like I always say, if you've stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like and do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. Let me know your thoughts on these collector's edition tins. Do you got the Beach Boys one? Do you got the John Lennon one? Do you even care? Were you aware of them? Were you not aware of them? Whatever, let me know. Or do you just have too many Beach Boys and John Lennon compilations? Because both of them have a lot of compilations. So what's the sense of having another one? But anyways, I think it's just kind of fun. It is an officially released media. It's not, a bootleg thing. So I thought they were kind of interesting when I heard about them. And a couple of artists that I do collect all their CDs, as many of their CDs as I can get. So they had to be in official stuff. I don't tend to collect bootleg stuff. So I just had to kind of add those to the collection there. But anyways, I'm going to get fully signing out. I am Beetle Dustino, signing out.